It is 6:41 here on a Friday morning. Elon Musk publicly called for the impeachment of a judge who recently ruled against President Donald Trump. It sparked a debate about the role of judges and the separation of powers in the U.S. So joining us to break all of it down for us is attorney Brian Kopp, who's in for Dave this week for Legally Speaking. Brian, good to see you, as always.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, first off, I mean, politics and everything aside, can a judge be impeached for over, a ruling that they made?
I mean, everyone's got to separate the noise. I mean, there's a difference between rhetoric and constitutional action. Mm-hmm. Article 3 judges, so the 3 articles of the Constitution are federal judges. They're served for life. And as long as there's good behavior, making a ruling that you agree or disagree with, no grounds for impeachment. I mean, if you think about it, somebody's always upset with the ruling. If 2 parties, somebody's upset with it. So if we attack judges on the basis of rulings, we would go nowhere in the system. I mean,
the separation of powers and checks and balances and everything exists with the 3 branches of government to begin with. So this has to play a role there, right?
It's kind of funny. Right now, with all the things going on, you see the president talking about the Department of Education. You see Congress saying the president can't do this with DOJ. You see attacks on the judiciary. Even though there's a lot of noise, our Constitution's at work. There are all the checks and balances that keep one branch from taking control or consolidating power. So our founders were brilliant, and I think that, now maybe the voices are a little louder with social media, the coverage. But all the president needs to do is really walk down the hall and ask the vice president, who's a lawyer and understands this process, and they probably would not be making such public comments.
Well, speaking of public comments, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, actually came out with a public comment kind of rebuking this. How strong of a message is that you see the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court saying, hey, I mean, this is in place for a reason?
We're in rarefied air. There's been 15, from what I saw, impeachment process against federal judges, only 8 convictions. And you're talking some bribery convictions, the obvious. The Civil War, when somebody refused in Tennessee as a federal judge to administer justice. For the Supreme Court justice to come out, it's because we have to hold the judiciary in high regard. As a lawyer, as practicing lawyers, there's deference to the bench. These people work hard. You may disagree with the ruling, but it's not because somebody's not trying to administer justice. If we lose a rule of law in this country, it is a real problem, and it starts with respect for the judiciary.
No, and over the last several years, I mean, I think there's been more attention, I guess, paid to, the political leanings of Supreme Court justices and everything. But at their core, all of them are there to uphold the Constitution, correct?
When you see judges in public formats, and, it's different in federal courts. You're appointed. I mean, the president nominates you, Congress approves you or appoints you, and you sit. But in all political formats, you rarely, if ever, hear from judges because they are to be removed, like the military, in theory, from all political leanings, and they are to enforce the law as they interpret it. And that's the key distinction. People may disagree over interpretation, but the disagreement is not grounds for removal.
How, as an attorney, what's been your take on seeing some public outcry against certain judges?
It's the most dangerous thing to what we do in my line of work. There has to be respect for the rule of law. When the judiciary is attacked publicly, people lose faith. And it's not uncommon because they don't have the training that lawyers and judges do. And so if you lose faith at the highest levels or attack the faith we should have, then people that seek justice here, even in Mahoning County, may question the reliability of it. It's fatal. I hope everyone understands that when you have a lawyer and there's another side that advocates, and the collision of 2 sides, there's a judge and a jury in the middle. Our system is the best in the world. It's the best that's ever been created. Have faith in it, even though there's difficulties with it.
It's a great message. Thank you very much, Brian. And by the way, Dave will be glad to know that the goodies are here. So we are well taken care of, even without you here this morning, Dave.
Landmark makes it easy. Thank you. I showed up, and they said, thank God David's not here today. So I want to make sure, and we took care of the staff. I don't know if David really does that, but I did. So, we'll make sure. I'll have a talk with David today.
Brian, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much.